Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Hope everyone's doing very, very well. We're going to jump on a little video, myself and Lewis, today, just to talk about everything going on around the club. How's it going, man? You've been on holiday. You've been in Portugal. Feeling better?
Yeah, I feel well rested. I feel really well rested. And I kind of need it because this is going to be the most stressful week we've been through in some time. Biggest game that we got coming up in about all of Clear Lake's tenure at Chelsea, to be honest. And after that, we've got a game that's solely for pride. And also just being the only team in Europe to have got every European trophy and all of that. But it's past that. It's just also more for just not having the embarrassment of being in this competition and not winning it. So, yeah, a massive week for Chelsea. This is where hopefully the boys become men. But, yeah, it's great to be back on.
I hope we can do it. I really hope we can do it, Lewis. But I'll be honest with you, mate. My head is telling me that we'll draw 2-2, and my heart is saying we'll win 2-1. And that's my feeling. I don't go into this with a lot of confidence. I go in with a lot of hope. And that's the key word, a lot of hope, which I haven't had in a lot of moments this year. So I guess the fact that I even have hope is a good thing. But we haven't seen this team. We've never done it. We've never got Champions League football under Clear Lake. So I mean, this will be certainly a step in the right direction.
If it isn't, then we've overtaken the amount of years we spent out of it under Roman, which is a really bad look.
Bloody hell. How many years did we spend out of it with Roman? 2?
Just the 2 seasons. We spent 16-17 and 18-19 out of the Champions League. Those are our only 2 seasons. That and like the half of 12-13, but we actually qualified for it.
We just got knocked out in the league phase, in the group phase.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get started straight away, Lewis. Let's talk about Rodrigo. Let's talk about Rodrigo, mate, because this is a player that's being linked with us at the moment. And he seems to be a little bit unsettled at Madrid. Now, a lot of it really depends on what Xabi Alonso wants, because he's obviously coming in as the new Madrid manager. But from what I'm seeing in terms of the Spanish press, especially, is he's struggling a little bit on an individual level, because he's only scored 1 goal, Rodrigo, since February, and that was against Brest in the Champions League, and that's one in almost 4 months. But also, they're saying that Artagula is potentially going to overtake him. Now, again, the source for this one, guys, is AS Sergio Lopez. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Lewis. This is one of the articles that's come out today. There is a lot of competition for the player. It's not like he hasn't been playing for Madrid, but he's not one of the key players in the sense that he's never going to play ahead of Mbappe and Vinicius as well. He's sort of that third string.
See, I've heard about this, but I've also heard this because he's been taking a bit more of a defensive role with Real Madrid, as opposed to likes of Vinny and Mbappe, who probably have more of a license to stay forward. But they don't really shy me away from the player anyway, just because we've seen what he's done for years at Real Madrid. We know what he brings to the table. He's great progressively, really good dribbler, really good at his shot placement from outside the box, especially around the left half space. And he's had experience of dealing with low blocks at Real Madrid too, so he could probably give us a little bit of experience in dealing with that as well. I see a good idea of him potentially linking up with the likes of Cucurella, making overlaps around him. He'd be like a massively upgraded Sancho with more of a license to shoot. So, if we could get him, it would all depend on us getting top 5 personally, because then we could try and offer higher wages, and we could also not have to worry too much about the price tag. Maybe actually get involved in a few more bidding wars. I mean, it all comes down to Sunday. This is the most annoying part. So much of our activity leads up to just that one game. No, one fucking game.
If we don't win that game, then this conversation is not even relevant.
Yeah, because without Champions League football, I don't really see Rodrigo making a downgrade like that. Not unless we really break our wage structure, which, to be fair, I heard we'd break it for him. I heard there was 4 players that we do it for. Him, Kane, Isak, and somebody else. Some fourth player that I never got mentioned.
Why not Osimhen?
From what I heard, attitude problems. That's everyone's favorite one.
Mate.
And also, they're not sure if he could adapt to possession-based football to the same level. Which is one that I'm a bit more like, but
he did that at Napoli though. They had possession. Did they play?
No, but my thing is it's more negated by how cross-heavy we are. Don't need that. Just keep crossing the ball to him. Something's eventually going to stick. Like, look at the United game, for example. How many crosses did we make in that game? And I think we completed like 1 out of 10 crosses in the first half. That with Osimhen, that might be a 4 or a 5. Maybe more.
Well, even if it's not a goal, at least you know someone can get on the end of it and at least challenge. Because if we're not
it'd be like a bit of a threat. And that would make the other wingers a lot more confident with their deliveries because they actually know it's going somewhere.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I guess one of the other things that's relevant with the Rodrigo conversation is whether Chelsea would pay the fee, which is about sort of 80 million. I think that's pounds as well. I don't think that's euros. I think that is pounds. And then obviously matching his 240,000 euro contract, or obviously giving him a pay rise, which I think that if he was to leave Madrid, he would want a pay rise. Now, I'll be totally honest with you, with Champions League football, I could see us paying the money anyway, because everyone gets a 20% increase. You hopefully get a couple of players off your books, your Sterlings, your Chilwells, your Nkunkus, maybe your Dewsbury Halls, Disasi. I mean, there's a long list. So there doesn't seem to be a big problem for me in terms of being able to bring players in. There shouldn't be a shortage of cash to pay the wages because we're already paying them. You just need to replace the players. But yeah, that's the weird one with Rodrigo. I guess it really just comes down to Sunday. Then we can have a serious conversation about it. And I think it's the same with a number of other players as well. Like Delap is one that I've heard about. He's waiting to see what happens. I actually think, to be honest with you, I don't think we'll get Delap. The more I'm looking into it, I think United will get him, and I think
same.
I think that they'll be willing to offer him more minutes. I think he suits Ruben Amorim's style more than he'd suit Maresca, and I think they'll pay him more.
Yeah, not even just that. He's used to playing in Manchester as well with City, so
he apparently wants to be that part of the in that part of the country. That's really important to him. That's what we've heard.
What?
He wants to live up north. He doesn't want to live down south.
Well, it ain't gonna be us then. It'll be Manchester United or Newcastle. It'll be one of them. And even Newcastle will be unlikely unless he wants to be a number 2. He ain't gonna be a number 2 to Højlund. No chance of that shit.
So yeah, I think we might have to look around for some different options. More reason to look at Rodrigo though if we're missing out on these other strikers, and if we're point blank not going for Osimhen, which seems to be what John Obi Mikel is saying. He says we could just pick the phone up and get the deal done. Then you've got to get someone in that can be a needle mover. For me, though,
Osimhen's on a stupid bag that got given by Napoli because they were trying to keep him for life. That's the problem. I'd never try and tell someone that they should lower their wages unless I really have no respect for them as a football player. But with him, it's like you only got that wage because like they just wanted to life you up. That was just it. And like no one else in Europe's giving you that money. Nobody else except Galatasaray, unless you want to stay there. They'll pay the money. Like they're just drunk in love. If not, it's a Saudi thing.
I think he'll probably end up going to Saudi if that's the case.
Probably would, which would be a shame for us. For him, I mean, at least you're still getting your bag and everything, but
mate, 13 million net a season. Do you know how much that is? That's incredible, mate. That's $250,000 after tax.
Crazy. Yeah. Like he's on like 355k a week before tax.
He wants a pay rise. He wants to go up to 400.
Yeah, you know what? Saudi might already be in his ear. Then it might already be done.
I don't understand it. Another striker as well that we're being linked with is Joao Pedro as well. Fabrizio Romano's come out and saying that he wants to find a new opportunity. He scored 30 goals and got 10 assists in 2 seasons at Brighton. That's not bad, to be honest with you. Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Liverpool are being linked with the player. And they're saying that Brighton would consider a bid of around £60 million. Now, I'll be honest, mate. For me, this is a big no. If it was cheaper, then maybe this is something we could talk about. I think I wouldn't go much higher than 40, to be honest with you. And even still, I'd be like, we could spend that money elsewhere. But I can appreciate that he's an okay striker. But when you've still got other options out there, like your Osimhen's and your Gyökeres, even Delap, who's cheaper, you save 30 million quid. I don't see why you wouldn't pursue those deals instead of Joao Pedro.
I don't get 60 million for Joao Pedro, but I don't think we end up getting him anyway. But I'm not interested. Like, he's someone who could be good in the future. Right now, I see he's a guy for big moments. I think he does have a bit of a decent mentality in him. But as an all-round player, don't move me. He's barely scored this season bar penalties. I'm good. Seen enough. Well, I've not seen enough, actually. That's the whole problem. I've not seen nearly enough.
Yes, I'm with you.
So, no. Like, I don't mind name on a list hype and all of that, but he's probably very low on that list.
I mean,
There's
I was
not really
speaking to some
anything
people
that's
earlier
really
on,
interesting.
and they were saying that he's better with his right foot, he's better with his left foot, and better in terms of heading the ball than Nicholas Jackson. Do you agree with that notion? Because I think there's probably an argument for that, but it's still not an upgrade that makes you think, we've got to bring this guy in.
If he was that much better, he'd probably have more open play goals. I don't think he does.
So you don't think he's a better finisher?
Let me check how many goals he's had this season. So 10 goals in the league.
Yeah. About 16 in total, I think.
10 goals in the... No. Yes, 10 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah.
You might have more GA than him, to be fair.
It's similar. It's very similar, isn't it?
I'm trying to see how many are pens.
Jackson probably has a little bit less. This is the thing, though, mate. When I look at these signings, though, even Delap, like, I don't see him as a needle mover, but at least I see a different profile in there, and I go, he's cheap. If you're telling me I have to spend 60 million for the same thing, except the difference is he's from Brighton, so I've got to pay Brighton tax. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't think that's smart business.
Neither do I.
It just doesn't make any sense, really. You could invest that in so many other departments. Why are we not being linked with any centre-backs anymore? Either. Ever since Huijsen's gone to Madrid, or he's signed that contract. Why are we not being linked with anyone? I want to see Mark Gurhey. I want to see Arujo, another one from...
So 5 out of 10.
Benfica.
Half of them has been pens.
Yeah, man, that's not great.
But yeah, sorry, what was the other question? I missed that.
I was just saying, like, why are we being linked with people like Joao Pedro? And I'm not hearing enough about a centre-back. I think we need 2, Lewis. I honestly think we need 2. I said this before. The centre-backs that we should bring in or should have brought in, or I would have, let's say that, I would have done this, is Jonathan Tah from Bayern Munich, and then I would have sold Tosin for a profit, 15 to 20 million. And that would have been a direct upgrade, and we would have made some money. I would have brought in Dean Huijsen from Bournemouth and spent the 50 million, and then I would have brought Mark Gurhey from Crystal Palace for 40. And now it's looking like the only player that we realistically will be able to sign is probably Mark Gurhey from Palace, because Jonathan Tah looks like he's going to be going to Bayern Munich.
So, like, Dean Huijsen, I think, was our number 1 target. And now we're like just kind of recalibrating what our plan's going to be. Because we've heard links with a bunch of different players like Thomas Araujo, Antonio Silva. We've heard rumblings with Lukeba.
I mean, even Araujo is super expensive, mate. Very expensive.
Who?
Araujo from Benfica, right?
Oh, yeah. Benfica's signing's notoriously too expensive to deal with.
So I don't think that's a deal we can get done, to be honest.
But all of them are the same sort of profile of just like young player, not really ready yet, bar Mark Gurhey, and like the odd Jonathan Tah link. So I don't really know who our number 1 target is going to be now, because it looked like it was just going to be Huijsen. That's what was putting us to front runners for a period.
Well, the only reason we were linked with Tar was because he's free. We would never pay a fee for a player that's over 25. Or I think he's 29, 28. He's closer to 30 than most. So that's the only reason we were linked with Jonathan Tar. I don't know, mate. I don't know. For me, that needs to be in a position that we take a little bit more seriously. I think that Maresca's definitely improved our defense. I'll agree with you on that. From a collective, I mean, come the end of the season, Lewis, we will have a proper discussion about the season, and I'm looking forward to it. Maybe we do it in the pod room or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And really break down what we've seen and what we like and what we think could have been a little bit better. But I think that defensively we have improved. But can you imagine, Lewis, if we had, Mark Gurhey in there, or let's just say next season we had a Dean Huijsen in there, and all the mistakes that we're seeing from some of these defenders. I'm not saying we wouldn't see mistakes, but to get that caliber of player, there's got to be a reason Real Madrid have gone for Dean Huijsen, mate. They're not stupid. He's a very good player.
Yeah, the guy's got bags of potential. Bags of potential. It's literally just about what's the correct term? It's about getting the experience next to him. Otherwise, there's no point doing it now. Like, he's going to go to Real Madrid. He's going to be around Militao. He's going to be around Rodrygo. That's going to be a difference maker.
Yeah, it's true.
Not like Colwell, who needs experience around him himself.
I mean, Gurhey is a good one because at least he has a bit of experience.
I know, but even then, it's like there's experience, and then there's
Lewis,
like
he's a winner.
Winning. But that's the thing. Oh shit! Now he is.
Yeah, he actually is a winner. Yeah.
Even then, it's still I want a title winner. Well, I get it though. Like, fair enough. You actually conquered the FA Cup. There's something.
That was big. That was
massive. First ever trophy for Crystal Palace in their history.
Can't believe that. I'm very happy for them, to be fair, man. I'm very happy for them.
Yeah, like it's nice to see a new name on there, I guess. You don't see it happen enough. The last time was, I think, Wigan. They beat Man City too.
Yeah.
The same scoreline.
Yeah, 1-0. 1-0, yeah. You're right. Do you know what? Speaking of Palace as well, mate, another player that I'm hearing, not in the press, but just from the fan base as well. Why are we not looking at a player like Mateta? Why is he not on our radar? Because I thought he was fantastic against City in the final, and I think that in terms of a big striker up front, different presence with a little bit of technical ability as well, Mateta ticks a lot of boxes for me.
Mm-hmm. And he's decent aerially. He's decent. But you can see he's starting to become a lot more comfortable, not even comfortable, confident, playing to a level that we want as a Chelsea striker. And he's another one that's outscored Nicholas Jackson in the league. I would 100% bring Mateta. I've been saying if we were serious, we bring in Osimhen and Mateta. That's a number one. That's a number two pattern. And then Jackson can be like your depth player. Like, you just have him do roles for you, like a James Milner, for example. But that's the old Chelsea talking. That ain't us from now. So, but yeah, Mateta, I'm 100% with. 100%.
I think Mateta would be a good one, mate. Don't know if
he's got like a fat contract or something, because I am actually surprised.
He wanted a new contract at Palace. I remember a couple of years ago.
He's got 2 years left. Yeah, let's just get it moving.
He wanted to move to a Champions League club. That was before last season. So that would have been like almost 2 years ago. But they refused to budge. And I think he had a period where he was scoring and he refused to celebrate or something like that. But obviously it's fine now, isn't it? At the end of the day, you're still being paid a lot of money, man. You're not having a difficult life here. But he just wanted to play European football. But he's got that with Palace now. This is the other thing, mate. Like, when you look at some of these players, anyone who wants to sign someone from Palace actually have something to offer now. They can offer Europa League football. And
that might be what keeps him for another year. Shit.
That's what I mean. So be interesting to see how they deal with everything at the moment and what their plans are. Now, we spoke about Rodrigo as a winger that potentially could come in and help us. I am behind that signing. I do think it's a good signing. I don't know if it would be my priority signing I think I prioritize a striker and a defender, to be honest with you, i.e. an Osimhen and a Mark Guehi. And then if you've got some extra cash, you look for Rodrygo. I do think he's a great player. I know some people probably disagree with that, but I think striker and centre-back is more important at this moment. In terms of the midfield, we're obviously going to be okay. We're going to have a Sugu. We're going to have Caicedo, Lavia, obviously Enzo in there, Andre Santos. But this is one of the other things that's come out about Fernandez. There's been a lot of rumors that he could come to Real Madrid, and they're really interested in signing him. Now, an article did come out not long ago by Jacob Steinberg of The Guardian, and it said that Chelsea have no intention of selling Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid and are determined to see off any attempts to sign the midfielder this summer. He also said there's no indication that Enzo Fernandez is unhappy at Chelsea. He would need to make a huge fuss to force an exit. There's also doubts over whether Real Madrid have the funds required to tempt Chelsea into a sale. So that's what he said. But obviously, we've heard other things saying that they are interested. But if we were to sell the player, it would have to be for well over 107 million that we paid for him. So I guess this is sort of an open-ended question. It's like, first of all, would you ever consider selling Fernandez? Especially because we have Santos coming in, who some would argue is a direct replacement. And then I'd also ask you if we did consider selling him, what is a reasonable amount? Because, I was speaking with Kev earlier and he was like, oh, give us a 20 million profit. That would be great. And I was like, what? 20 million profit? Are you kidding me? You'd have to do considerably more than that.
I wouldn't sell Enzo just yet because, even with Santos coming in, I like the depth and the quality of depth that we have in the squad, and I don't want to weaken that. Now, if it was a Rodrigo for Enzo sort of thing, I wouldn't be against it, but I wouldn't want that. I'd rather just buy Rodrigo. Show some fucking balls. Show that you actually want to strengthen the team as a whole. Let's not strengthen our upper body and then cut off our lower body. No. Yeah. Let's just bring Rodrigo in. You don't want to get rid of him. Why do we have to sell to do that? Just have it make a statement signing for once. So yeah, I wouldn't want to sell Enzo. If we did and it had to be done to get Rodrigo in, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna rage, but I'd rather not get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I wouldn't trade the two. I wouldn't trade Enzo for Rodrigo. I think the only way that that's even a possibility is that Madrid would get Enzo and they would have to pay us on top of that. I mean, that's the only way that would make any sense financially anyway, considering what we paid for him and what they value Rodrigo at, which is about 80 million. So there's already a difference in about 30 mil. And that's just the swaps. And then I'd probably say, you got to give us another 20, 30 on top of that. And that's a deal I could consider, but I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it. I love Enzo's passion. I think he's been one of our most improved players under Enzo Maresca. I think he really suits what Maresca's doing. I think he'd do really well at Madrid as well. This is the thing. I think he'd smash it in Spain.
That'd be the Cruz replacement. Just like that.
I don't know, though. For me, it doesn't sit right with me. I wouldn't sell Enzo unless we drive a really, really hard bargain, in which still I think it'd be very sad.
Yeah, I think it's too early. Way too early. Now, he might end up going Madrid eventually because these rumors have been around for a while. But for now, not yet. Otherwise, unless you're really making some good money back, it's pointless. And I still think it just weakens the squad as a whole. So I'd rather not do it.
There you go. Well, listen, guys, let us know if you agree or disagree with any of the topics we've been speaking about. We've whizzed through a number of players there. We've spoken about Rodrigo. We've spoken about, obviously, Fernandez as well, Joao Pedro, the defensive situation, the midfield. And to be honest with you, I feel like there's still a lot more to go through. So I wish I could record for longer, but I've got to go. But listen, thanks so much for jumping on, Lewis. Really appreciate your time, mate.
Bro.
Subscribe to Lewis's channel. Subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV as well, guys. And we will catch up very, very soon. All the best and enjoy the rest of your day.